Toddler Sharing Behaviors by Kimberly Hansen for PS 510 Qualitative Analysis for Kaplan University. Sharing is a learned behavior that becomes easier as children develop. The components of this are food items versus non-food items, ownership, valued items, and the level of sacrifice the child must give to this item. Food is more difficult to share because it is consumable, meaning that once it is shared, it is gone. The child will not receive it back from the person they've shared with. It is also difficult for toddlers to share items which they value or which are their own because they do not want them broken or lost. They want to keep them close. Sharing also comes with a personal sacrifice, which is hard for toddlers to understand at such a young age. At this age, it is all about the toddler, him or herself, and not so much about other people and their wants and needs. Because the focus of the toddler is on him or herself, they must learn about the needs of others and how to perceive these needs, which leads to greater opportunities to share. This becomes easier with time. By the time we become adults, sharing is much easier, and we even volunteer our time and other goods to make a positive impact on society. Through my work at a daycare, I interact with 18-month-olds through 2.5-year-olds. Throughout the day, there are many instances where these children just take toys from each other without giving it a thought. Of course, we see objections to this from the student who had their toy taken. There will be yelling or screaming at this stage. We don't hear a lot of English language or just saying no thank you from them yet. However, part of the job as the caregiver is to teach them to use these words, and they will repeat no thank you after you if you coach them on this. And this is a great way to teach them positive ways to voice their displeasure at being made to share before they're ready by their peers. Also, those who take, if you give them a different toy and they are redirected to a different activity, they don't seem to care so much about the toy they were after before. A qualitative study to further observe sharing in a toddler age, or even as we develop our sharing abilities, would be to observe students from different age ranges at different times. When we compare these observations, we can see how their ability to share grows throughout development. And then we can draw our own conclusions based on these observations and then set up future studies to further the research. A study question to apply to my qualitative study would be, when do children develop the ability to communicate in English or their native language, the desire to share, or the displeasure with being made to share? This will help us know when developmentally they are able to use language and put their displeasure into that language. The annotated bibliography was a great way to help organize data from a literacy study. Through finding out what has been done, new research can take shape. Observations of toddlers playing can give new insight into what we already know. Looking at toys being taken and the children's attitude provide a natural picture of children's understanding of sharing. They can seem indifferent, protest verbally, or protest physically if they do not want to give up their toy. References.